Speaker, I move that the House suspend the rules to pass H.R. 3089, the NDO Fairness Act.
Without objection, the clerk will report the title of the bill.
H.R. 3089, a bill to amend Title 18 United States Code to modify delayed notice requirements and for other purposes.
Pursuant to the rule, the gentleman from Wisconsin, Mr. Fitzgerald, and the gentlewoman from Texas, Ms. Jackson Lee, each will control 20 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Wisconsin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask unanimous consent that all members have 5 legislative days to revise and extend their remarks and to include extra materials on H.R. 3089 and the bill now under consideration.
Without objection.
And, Mr. Speaker, I yield myself as much time as I may consume.
The gentleman is recognized.
I rise in strong support of this legislation, my bill, H.R. 3089, the NDO Fairness Act. This bill makes much-needed changes to the way law enforcement obtains and utilizes non-disclosure orders, also known as secrecy orders. Before modern advancements in cloud computing, when a law enforcement officer wanted to search someone's office, they would be required to obtain a search warrant based on probable cause, as we're all well aware of. When the officer executed the search, they would notify the individual, who would then have an opportunity to challenge the search in court. However, the era of cloud computing has ushered in a new method of storing sensitive information, whereby, as we know, individuals are replacing file cabinets with the digital file folders. To them, by surrendering this physical office in favor of a digital office, individuals are also surrendering their expectation of privacy. That's because a provision within the Electronic Communications Privacy Act allows law enforcement to access an individual's data by subpoenaing the third-party service provider, such as Microsoft, Google, Apple, rather than the individual. The law enforcement officer then imposes a secrecy order on the company, preventing them from notifying the individual of the search. The secrecy order is then often boilerplate in nature and without a time limit, leading to abuse and overuse. According to Microsoft, between January to June 2022, federal authorities requested U.S. citizen data for more than 5,500 accounts, on average of 15 requests per day. Over the same time period, Google received more than 21,000 subpoenas for nearly 50,000 accounts. Apple, whose public data is only available through calendar year 2021, received more than 6,600 requests between July and December of that year. In nearly all the cases, a secrecy order was imposed on the company to prevent the disclosure of the search. The NDO Fairness Act would stop this abuse, which has allowed the circumvention of the Fourth Amendment protections in favor of simple convenience. This legislation ends indefinite secrecy orders and instead requiring the court to certify that disclosing the search is likely to jeopardize an investigation or result in a destructive, oftentimes full elimination of evidence, or endanger the life of an individual. This legislation also imposes a 90-day limit on secrecy orders, with an extension available if and only if the need for secrecy is justified based on the facts and approval by a judge. Finally, this legislation gives the individual subject to search a chance to be heard and a chance to request a copy of the information that was disclosed. Today's legislation, while not a major overhaul of ECPA, provides us with an opportunity to address the threat to our constitutional freedoms. These changes, I believe, will bring searches of the cloud more closely in line with the Fourth Amendment searches. I want to thank my colleagues from New York, the ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee, Mr. Nadler, for co-leading this bill, and I want to thank the chairman of the committee, Chairman Jordan, for his leadership on the issue. I urge swift passage of the bill and reserve the balance of my time.